Okay, so welcome to this next little short video that I'm doing on reminder flows. I had a question posed to me by one of my followers on Twitter about if it was possible to have a reminder email sent, not before a date in a SharePoint list, but after the date. Now, there's a couple of different ways that we could do this, and this is obviously just going to be one of them. You might think that we could, here's our list, we've got a contract start date field, we've got a contact email, we've got a has there been a follow-up sent, because what this is going to be is when the contract starts, 28 days afterwards, we just go back in and just say, hey guys, how's it going? You know, just like a little follow-up. So there's a couple of different ways that we could do this. You might think that we could come in and set a reminder. Okay, contract start date. Brilliant. The only problem with this is that when we do this, it says remind me this many days in advance. Now, we don't want to be reminded in advance. We want to be reminded afterwards. If we try and game this by bringing this down into minus, so I don't know, minus 28, okay, must be a non-negative integer, so we can't do that. So click cancel there. Another way that you might think of doing it will be to create a calculated field. Okay, that doesn't work either. So we either create another field where we manually stick contract start date in, but you know, let's be flash. Okay, let's do it using a PowerAutomate flow. Now, I have already done that, okay, because my typing is atrocious, and trust me, you don't really want to see any of that. So let's have a look at the flow that does this for us. Okay, so here I am now in the flows area. I've got a flow called follow up with client, and inside here we come to the edit for this. We can have our flow kick off in numerous different ways. It can be when an item is created, when it's updated, it can be when you click a button on an app, you know, there's numerous different ways. This one, I'm going to set it up so that it's a recurrence. So every 6 hours, it is going to go away and check that list to see if it's time to send the follow-up email. We could do this, okay, once every day. You know, you can even get it to run every second should you so wish, but I'm going to say we'll run it every 6 hours. What we then have is the special dance that we must perform. The difference between get items and get item. Get items gives us a list of items. Get item lets us interrogate an individual list item. In this case, we want to send an email to all of those contract holders where their contract start date was 28 days ago. In order to do that, first we run get items. Okay, so this comes and brings all of our items back. That might return n+1 items. Okay, so it has to go through and apply to each. That apply to each, we hit the get item. It uses the ID of the item in the list that's been returned through here. And then we pass that into our condition, which is where we do the only complex thing in here. We have contract start date is equal to, and then we've got a fairly nice little expression here. Okay, so we're adding minus 28 days to today's date. Sounds a bit weird, but that gives us the date of 28 days ago. In order to get this to work properly, and this is the only complicated bit here, we have to wrap the add days and the UTC now in a format date time function. Okay, otherwise it can't kind of compare things correctly, because we would be doing a start date against a start date plus hours, minutes, seconds, milliseconds, and so on. So this just limits the now value to year, month, day, that it can compare correctly with contract over here. Once it does that, it finds a match. It sends an email to the contact the email, and then it updates the list item. Okay, the list item, we can see we have got follow-up sent here as an item. So why have we done this? Well, we're sending this. Okay, we're running through this every 6 hours. So there may well be a time when an update has occurred. Okay, and it don't want to send people emails more than once. So whenever it's sent the email, it sets the follow-up sent value to yes. So whereabouts are we using that in the condition to do the limiting? Now here's where I'm quite old school. I'm very much of the idea that you would limit the number of records, in this instance number of list items, that you are bringing back, okay, rather than bring back an entire data set and then do the narrowing. So in here I've got, if we click show advanced options, actually no, it's not that one at all, it's up here, pardon me. Here we can see if follow-up sent equals no. Now you might think that's fairly weird. Follow-up sent isn't a boolean. Okay, there's no point in it being a boolean because the query here, this OData filter query, doesn't understand boolean. So if we try and do a comparison against the yes no field, it doesn't work. So therefore follow-up sent is just a text field. Okay, so the default is no, so whenever we create a new item in that list it'll say no. Then when we come back down and it finds one that it likes, okay, that it hits, follow-up sent equal, we update to yes, so it will only ever send that update the once. If we look at the list, we can see contract start date, contact email, follow-up sent no. Let's run this flow. So I'll just save this. Let's test it. Okay, let's have a look. So your flow ran successfully. Your flow running successfully does not mean that the flow has done what you wanted it to do. It just means that it hasn't thrown a particularly egregious error. But if we come into here, we can see that it has got our item for us. Okay, so the reason why it's picked this one up is because obviously follow-up sent equals no, and that was our OData filter. If we come into the condition, okay, we can see the expression result for this one was true. Okay, today's date is the 15th of March. Okay, take 28 days from that. It's not a leap year, so that gives us the 15th of February. That has now sent an email to Adele Vance. And if we look at update item, okay, that's worked as well. Okay, it has follow-up sent has been sent to yes. So if we come back and look at the list, there we go, follow-up sent. If we run the flow again, okay, so if we just come back, let's come into edit here, and if we click test again, okay, flow ran successfully. Okay, apply to each. Okay, get items. Okay, can't apply to each. Why not? Because, and if we look at the big massive JSON response that we get, okay, there are, if we were to look through here, there will be no records returned because obviously follow-up sent equals yes rather than no. Okay, won't leave the site. I always do that. Okay, if you do that as well, stick a comment in the video saying I'm an idiot also. Right, so anyway, there you go. That's the really short video there. If you've got any other suggestions for videos that you want me to come through and look at, trust me, they will be slightly more polished than this one. I'm really just getting to grips with doing this thing after all. Right, well, I'm David Davies, the 365 Guru. It's been a blast. Speak to you soon.